Now, one other thing I would encourage you to do is most all of you have taken videos on your cell phone, right?
Yep.
Probably of your kids or grandkids. And that's an important part of your life. And it's also an important part of creating what I call a digital diary. And as you know, I've just shared with you my digital diary by giving you my username and password. What that means is you all can go in there and you can see my story evolve. And when I die, my story will still be there. The same thing goes for you. Once you get enough content in there, this will start to become interesting to your kids and their kids. I've already shared my book, and of course, as you might imagine, my kid's favorite story is my most embarrassing moment. And my grandkids have also asked to borrow my book. So when I get this next version of my book done, I'll have two versions. I'll have a printed version that I'll bind in a leather book, and then I'll have my online digital diary, which is my timeline here.
So are you saying you're doing video as part of your diary?
Absolutely.
You want to show us a
Yeah, sure. So let me see if, just for fun, I'll go to my vertical again. I'm trying to remember. Oh, let's go do a search. Oh, let's go to File Explorer and search in there. We'll search for Oregon. And this is a good example of how you can search, because I've created an entry. I've added content about a trip I took to Oregon with Doug. And here's a movie that I created. Let's see, here's one on the Oregon coast. Okay, well, here's one example. This is Walclella Falls, and this is a video that I've uploaded to our system. And you can see me in my waders below a waterfall.
You're fishy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Have you saved the videos in a different place or in the same?
I'm sorry?
You have all the videos in these file folders. You didn't save them in a different place.
Everything goes in the same folder. Don't make it complicated.
Okay.
Just stuff everything there. But as you can see, I can go in here. I can make this full screen if I want. So the video player is awesome. So this is the nutty kind of stuff that I do when I go on photography safaris. Is I'll go walk out in the middle of rivers and take pictures of waterfalls, and that's part of who I am.
Yeah.
So I wanted to include that in my story. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's go back to our File Explorer. And this is Walclella Falls outside of Portland. And that's this guy right here. Notice that it takes up 349 megabytes of space in my private workspace. That's a big file. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I'm giving you and every other person on earth 500 megabytes of storage for free. But when you try to upload something that goes to 501 megabytes, I'm going to tell you that you can subscribe to get a subscription to get more storage for $5 a month. And for $5 a month, you'll get 5 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so that's like 5,000 megabytes of storage. So the 500 megabytes will, if you did nothing but type, you would be able to store the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament over 88 times. But if you want to upload videos into your private workspace like I've done, it's going to consume more space faster. So that leads me to the next option that you might want to consider. And that is, I encourage you to, most of you already have a Gmail account. So since you have a Gmail account, for all practical purposes, you have a YouTube account. So what you can do is you can upload content to YouTube, and then you can specify a link that links out to your YouTube video. And I'll show you an example of that right now. YouTube knows who I am. You can see my little picture right there. I'm going to click on my picture, and then I'm going to go down and look at my YouTube studio. Everybody has one. And you see this little button right here? That's where you'll upload your family videos by clicking on that. Then it'll just let you drag and drop. So I created a video last night. Shell's already seen this. And it's this video right here. There's my video.
So this means if you use this method that the whole world has access to your stuff, right?
You can make your videos private, or you can make them public. I tend to make mine public just because it's easier. So when I go into my little video channel, you just copy your video link right there. And then I can go into my Life History app here, and I have not added this to my story, so I'm going to right now. So I'll hit add content, and it says, do you want to specify an external link? And I'll click on that and say yes. It opens up a field where I can paste that URL, and then I can give it a name. And I'm going to call this Progressing on the Covenant Path. Spell covenant. And then I'll give it a date, and the date will be 4/21. And I would normally, which I'll actually do, file, open, and here we go. So I'm going to take the text of this video from my Word document, and I'm going to paste that in the comments field. So everything that's in the video is also now available in text and also searchable by text. So if I want to look for the word Savior, for example, I can search for Savior, and it will find, this will be one of the files that it finds in my life. So now I can hit save, and it will save that. And notice it didn't take any time at all to save that. If it was the original file, it would be 150 megabytes, and it would take it 3 or 4 minutes to save. So now I go back to File Explorer, and of course that was the last thing I added. So it floats to the top. So now I can either click on the external URL here, or I can click on my Actions option on the right, and I can either edit if I made a mistake and want to add or change. I can view it, or I can delete it if I want to get rid of it. I want to view it, so I'll click View, and now it opens up my YouTube video right here on the screen, and I can click on it and watch it.
Is there a time limit?
No.
Oh, awesome.
Remember that life is a progressive process. Each step that we take toward the light increases our abilities, making it easier and easier to proceed to the next higher step. With each step forward, we can better feel His attraction. Our light, our power, and our desire are enhanced. Our ability to access, use, and leverage the tools offered by the Savior increases as we progress along the continuum, or in other words, the covenant path. The covenant path actually begins well before we even make a single mortal covenant. It started for each of us in the premortal realm when we exercised our faith in the Father and His plan to jump off the cloud in the first place. It is our natural condition to expand and learn and grow, from small to larger and from light to lighter, from powerless to infinitely powerful and creative. There is a divine gravity that draws us ultimately and inexorably to our best incarnation of love and light and capability.
That's super cool.
So you see, there's just really no limit to what you can do with this. You can add videos, you can add audio files. I'll give you an example of that audio file real quick. Okay, by going to Dad's, your Grandpa Dad, and the interactive chart. If I go to Clyde Weeks Sr., on his webpage, back in the 70s, we visited from California, and I sat he and Emily down for about an hour or so, and I recorded that interview. And so we've got him and Emily talking.
That makes it, I guess that's the most important thing. I think you sum it up in a nutshell. I would tell my grandchildren if I was going to leave tomorrow, I think I'd like to tell them. Back many times on my mission, I wrote a couple of pages of what I would tell. The missionaries challenged me to write what I would tell my family if I was going to die tomorrow. And I had written it out. I have it at home. Which might be good to include on a future tape. I have it, I think, from one of my missionary papers. But I thought to consider what advice I would pass on to them. You've asked me this question. It's really on this little well thought out paper, off the cuff. I think off the cuff I would state that the most important thing in the life of any child is the family.
Tim, could you transcribe these?
Respond to their parents.
I'm sorry?
Could you transcribe these because they're so muffly?
I could, I haven't. But they're so awesome for me because I was there.
Yeah.
And
What year did he die?
79, I think. But actually, you know, the notes that he's referring to, Shell, they were in the pile of stuff that you gave me. And we have that in his website down below.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of content for him now, as you can see.
Wow.
This is amazing.
I don't know if you guys have looked at this yet, but he gave a talk. He was invited after he came back from the hospital and after his dark days to come back to the 4th Ward that he loved so much in Salt Lake and give a talk. And he included, he typed that talk up, and we have that as well. Oh my gosh, it's such a great talk. It's this one right here. Talk given by Clyde Weeks at Sacrament Meeting, the 4th Ward in 1948.
Wow.
Right after he came back. And it's such a powerful talk.
Oh.
Highly recommend it.
Recorded with his voice too?
This is not recorded, no. This was before tape recorders.
Yes.
But it's it's a real treasure.
How do we just get all of this into our own accessible, our own histories?
Well, again, you can just copy this chart, and then this.
Click on any name and it'll have whatever you've done on it.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem fair for you to do all the work.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we appreciate it.
Well, wait till you get into it and you start reading. I mean, and the thing that's so cool about this is that each of us are going to become these people on somebody else's fan chart in 50 and 100 years. And we live in the first generation when we have the power and the capability to record in 4K video, to record our audio stories, and to, I mean, talk about having a Gutenberg press on your desk. We've got the ability to create a digital diary that can then be printed out in a printed volume and given to all of our descendants. And or, of course, you can share your live digital link to your story with them.